Okay, we're talking about writing a quadratic function in a standard form just by knowing the zeros. So the zeros are the places where the graph passes the x-axis and passes through the x-axis. So they're called the x-intercepts, the solutions, the roots, or the zeros. All of those terms apply to the same thing. So let me just give you a graphical representation of what's going on here just for a moment to get you grounded. Um, so let's say that this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. What we're saying here is that if this function has zeros at 3 and 5, is that it passes through the x-axis here at 3 and then again at 5. And so it looks something like this. All right, this is an upward facing parabola. I know that because it says the leading a coefficient is 1. So it has a positive value. That means it's an upward facing parabola. And so this is what our graph looks like, something like this. And so to get it into a standard form, we're going to have to start with the factored form. We're going to have to start here at a. I'm going to write my two parentheses. I'm going to write my two x's. And I'm going to write the opposite of these, the opposite sign of these two values. So I'm going to write -3 and -5. And right now, at this point, I have to have an a value. If I don't, then I simply can't finish this expression. I can't distribute it and have numbers out front unless this a value is a number. They told me the leading coefficient is 1. So that means that I can put in 1 right here. All right. So now, if I want it in standard form, this is factored form. If I want it in standard form, I'm going to have to distribute. So let's do our double distribution. So it'd be x times x, that's x squared, and x times -5. That's -5x. And now I'm going to do double distribution, right? So I'm going to take this term, -3 times x, that's -3x. And -3 times -15, that's positive, or I'm sorry, -3 times -5 is positive 15. I'm going to group these two like terms in the middle together to make x squared minus 8x plus 15. So now I have my equation written in standard form. Remember, this a term was just 1. So what do I do with it? I'll distribute 1 through this whole thing, right? If I distribute 1, I just get the same thing. It's just 1 times all of that stuff. So it's x squared minus 8x plus 15. So here is my finished standard form equation.